Sheila asked us to wait on that. I don't know what button real fast. All right, so we are recording, and I am Barbara Carr with Fuse Marketing and Media, and today we are learning about Zoom. You guys are all on Zoom right now, and I'm gonna teach you some different ways that you could use Zoom while you're stuck at home right now during this epidemic or pandemic or whatever we're calling it these days. Some people are saying that it's gonna be the next Great Depression, which kept me thinking a lot of things because, like, obviously I wasn't around during the Great Depression, and I don't think I'd make it through a Great Depression. So, but so let's talk about how we can use this particular software to grow your business and stay visible even when you have to stay home and that you're stuck at home.
Well, as I said the other day, Zoom is our new conference room.
It is.
It really is. It's our new conference room.
So I actually made I'm going to share my whiteboard. I actually made a thing today. Oh, actually, let me open what I want, and then I'm going to share it with you guys. Because before I went on here, before we started, I created what I wanted to share with you guys. All right, now where's my Zoom? All right.
Look at Barbara on prepared whiteboard.
What's that?
A boot camp that we've been doing for years and years. I broke it down.
Whiteboard.
Okay, somebody has something in the background. So actually, if everyone could just mute themselves while they're not talking, that would be ideal. If you have a question, you can unmute yourself. All right, let me share with you now my screen here. All right, I'm just going to share the whole screen, and then I'm going to bring it up. There we go. All right, so this is what I wanted to talk to you guys first about how you can use Zoom, what you could be doing. So you could be doing one-on-one meetings, right? Before you used to do coffee, you'd meet people for coffee, you'd meet people for lunch, dinner, whatever it was, either one-on-one, sometimes your spouse and their spouse, so double dates. Oh, that's a good one. I didn't put double dates on there. Okay, so here's what I will do because I have the option to add. Actually, I don't want to do it that way. Can you guys see what I'm doing here?
Yes.
Double dates. Okay, so I'm adding double dates in there. So basically how I did that, I'm going to show you how to do these things at the end of this call. So don't worry about if I'm going too fast with that. And so you could do one-on-one meetings. You could do double dates even on Zoom. You and your spouse get together, another couple get together, you guys can have a meal and you could talk just like you used to, even though you're stuck at home. You could do group meetings. Now, all of these things, oh, won't let me highlight that. That's okay. So the things underneath group meetings, I've grouped them together because a lot of these are groups. So networking groups. Most of you probably belong to networking groups before coronavirus came about, right? And said that you can't hang out. And you probably attended multiple networking groups in a week or even in months. I know there was many that I was a part of. Some of those groups have been able to start meeting on Zoom. Others have not taken advantage of it, but they should have. And so that's something that I'm telling you guys, that if you are the host of a group, if you're the one who started a group, make sure that you're bringing your group online. If you're not the host of the group, then tell the host of the group that you'd like to have online meetings. And if they can't do online meetings or they're not willing to, then you reach out to the members of that group and start having your own private group meetings. It doesn't have to be necessarily to take over the group, but you could still reach out to 2 or 3 people in the group and say, hey, let's meet on Zoom. You can do staff meetings. Whether you are an employer or a business owner who has contractors, you can do your staff meetings on here. In fact, for Fuse, we've always done our staff meetings on Zoom for a couple of reasons. Number one, it records. We have ours set up to automatically record everything that we're doing on Zoom so that we can put it into our files for, it's easy for if we're looking back on what decision did we make, or, oh, you said that, no, you said that kind of thing. It also helps keep people accountable. You guys know I work from home, so I told the kids they had to be quiet, but not deathly quiet. When Isaac was on the call, I like threatened them, don't even sneeze. Like, but everybody knows I'm a work from home mom, so my kids can be a little bit noisy, but not as noisy as they're being right now. Okay. And so take him in the other room, please, Haley. So then the next thing is your staff meetings. Having them, even if you're meeting with contractors, you guys ask them to meet you on Zoom because it helps keep you accountable. It helps keep them accountable. It's nice to be able to be face to face. So when you're giving someone direction or order, it's nice if they can actually see your face and see you as a real person rather than just the mean person who's telling me what to do, right? If you're just only communicating via email or text, sometimes those can come off in ways that we don't mean them to.
I have a comment.
Yes.
If you're on Zoom, I just saw something on the news about people accidentally doing things thinking that people can't see them. And as the host, you're able to monitor some of the things that other people are doing. And I think yesterday I heard like some game sounds. It sounded like a lion roaring or something on somebody else's phone while we were in the Zoom, or well, I watched the video after. But we have to change our conduct in some ways. Like when we were in a conference meeting before, if we had our cell phone in our hand and we're doing stuff, they knew what we were doing. But this is a new day and age. We've got to be careful and conduct ourselves appropriately.
Yeah, for sure. And so you've got to know what's going on in your surroundings. And if your phone rings, Haley, you're bouncing my whole table. I need you to go in the other room, please. She's 9, you guys. She's trying. So you've got to know if your phone, it needs to be on silent, right? Because how embarrassing would that be that your phone rings while somebody's in the middle of talking or praying or crying or whatever, and you're the one that has the phone ring. Take him. Buddy, come here. It's almost like, how when you get on a call, it's almost like they are trying to see how far they can get before I flip out. So, okay, thank you for sharing that comment, Dwight. Let's move forward. Conference calls. Many people have conference calls over the phone all the time anyway. Many of those conference calls are actually held on Zoom or things like Zoom. If you have the opportunity to get on video, show your face, you guys. Get out there, be visible, because just having your name representing you on this is only going to take you so far. People want to see you. They want to remember who you are, what you look like, and all of the pictures that we post on social media are not going to be enough to remind people what we look like, especially because most of those are filtered. So they hardly look like us. But make sure that you are showing your face any way that you can. Even if it's a conference call, make it a conference video. Book clubs, you guys, this is such a fun idea. I've been running my Fuse book club on Zoom for years, and it's always been fun. So if you have book clubs or other types of clubs that you used to be part of or attend, have those on Zoom. You can still totally do it on Zoom. Back many years ago when I first started my book club, it started with what was supposed to be a book club. It became a wine club because we just drink wine all the time and we forgot we were reading a book. But that was about 10 years ago. I've gotten a lot better at hosting book clubs since then. Life groups. I know that a lot of churches have had to close to the big amounts of people being there, the whole congregation. You can't have everybody there at once. Some churches are still offering their life groups to be able to meet, but if your life group is not able to meet, maybe you have a really large life group and it exceeds the number of people that you should be meeting with, meet on Zoom if you can. As you guys can see, I can't tell how many people we have on here right now, but we have a number of people on here, and it's it's not getting bogged down. People aren't talking over each other. So meet as often as you can on here. Training videos. You guys remember yesterday, hold on one sec. I want to change the view of this for a second. There we go. Can you guys see my, the people on my screen too, or no?
No.
Okay. All right. So I was just repositioning how I wanted to see you guys. You guys were like all in a line, and I wanted to have you guys more spread out so I could see your expressions better. training videos. The training video that I did with you guys yesterday, I originally planned for that to be a private training and it was going to just be in the group. But then I found out that the video was too large to upload into the Facebook unit. So I had to first put it on YouTube so that I could give a YouTube link to go to, which of course, because I do YouTube marketing, I couldn't just put out the video, you know, I mean, I did put it out raw, but I at least had to give it a thumbnail and I had to put a long description on there and I had to give it information because it became a marketing tool then. I didn't expect that, right? Like I thought it was going to be a private video. So now I thought, you know what? That was God's way of saying, Barbara, I've been telling you to make these videos for years. And now that you're making them, don't keep them a secret. And so, so now I'm making training videos, and I've always made training videos on Zoom, but a lot of these topics I've been needing to talk about for a long time, and I just haven't. And, you know, I had excuses. Things got in the way. But I see there's something in the chat. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are answering my questions. You guys are awesome. And so make training videos. You guys, whatever industry you're in, and it doesn't matter, every industry has knowledgeable stuff that the average person doesn't know. No matter what industry you're in, you have information that the general public could use. Make videos. Some of them could be free training, like what I'm offering to you guys, and then some of it could be paid training. But make videos, and you guys have probably heard the saying that you have to give away stuff first so that people can see the value that you have, and then they're more likely to buy from you, right? So that's why I mentioned early on, I let you guys know that, yes, at the end of this 30 days, I'm going to offer you something for sale. You don't have to buy it, but it just makes sense because if you like what you're getting and you want more of me, if I don't at least give you an option to have more of what I have to offer, then that's shame on me. That's my lost sale, right? So be strategic about what you're doing with your business. Every free thing that you put out there should lead back to something that you could sell, right? It's okay to give away free stuff, but make sure that at some point people are willing to pay you for your time and your resources because you are worth it. You have something that we all need. So whatever that is, actually one of your homework assignments, and I didn't have this as a homework assignment yet, but I'm just making it up as I go. So so you guys should actually make a list of everything that you know that you think everybody knows, right? Like when I first started teaching time management, I did not realize that everybody didn't know how to manage their time properly. Like I just assumed that was something a gift that we all had. And I found out very quickly that I was wrong. And the fact that I was so good at time management, people were willing to pay me lots of money to learn how to manage their time the way I manage mine. In fact, I'm right now writing my book on time management, and some of the statistics that I find that I'm putting in the book, and I just can't believe it. How it's such, shoot, that's the pandemic we have every day of our life. Forget coronavirus. Yeah.
Can I buy that early?
Can you buy that early? Yes, Dwight, we will figure something out. And look at that. And then thank you for sharing that, Dwight, because people will let you know. There was a time early when I was teaching, and Phyllis and Dave, I don't know who else is on this call that was at part of my trainings back then, but a couple years ago I was training. I was doing training courses. People paid like, I think 10 or 20 bucks to come to these training courses. And I was giving like an hour and a half worth of content, and I was never selling anything at the end. And then finally somebody said, Barbara, how can I buy all of your training? And I was like, what? Like, I didn't even consider that. And so I was like, well, I don't know. And very next day I came up with a membership idea. Okay, somebody wants all of my training. They could subscribe to a membership plan and they could come to every training I offer. And that was back when I was able to do live trainings, with people in a room. But the same thing applies now. People want my training. I'm recording it on video now, and then they can buy it. Same thing with you guys. So think about, what is it that people will buy from you? Oh, yeah. Debbie, you did some of those trainings as well. Thank you. She said they were very good.
And it was such a beautiful room, wasn't it, Barbara?
It was. I miss Green
I
Cow
miss
so
it
much.
so much.
I miss it. Okay, so then you guys could do webinars. So similar to what I'm doing right now, this is essentially a webinar in a way. You can invite a bunch of, because when you do the training videos, you guys, it's just you logging on. You're logging into your Zoom account, you're sharing your screen, you're showing your face, it's just you on there. But in a webinar, you've got a group of people who are attending with you that are learning from you and adding to the discussion. Okay, so those are both two different fun ways that you can use Zoom to teach people what you know that we want to know. So if you guys come up with a list and you would like to share it with the group or with me, I encourage you to do so, because people will tell you what they'll buy, okay? People will tell you what it is worth, right? So when I first came up with my membership model, and this was in 2013, I think, when I started doing that membership where people could pay a membership price and then come to all my training, I started that at $50 a month. Do you know last year my rate for that was $300 a month? And I stopped doing it because I stopped working for 9 months. That's a story for a different time, but most of you on here know my story and you know why that was. But at the time that I stopped doing those live trainings, it was $300 a month to come to any of my trainings that you wanted. And so imagine, like, people were paying $300 a month for learning how to grow their business. People will pay you a certain number of money for what you have to offer. How that went from $50 a month to $300 a month is because my customers, my members, told me that I was not charging enough. They literally said, I can't believe I'm getting all this for this money. And then they would jokingly say, don't raise my rate though, because I told you. You know, so, but they will, you guys, they will tell you when it's too cheap. And you'll know that it's too cheap when people are buying it off the shelves, right? Toilet paper right now. You could probably sell toilet paper for like $100 a roll at this stage. People will tell you how much they'll pay for it. All right, so let's see. Angela's never done Zoom. That's okay, Angela, because that's your homework assignment. You're going to do one tomorrow or today. Marie, so you do a training on Zoom by recording it and then having it available to sell? Yes, exactly. So you can, because you could share your screen, you could do a PowerPoint slide. You can actually do a how-to video. In fact, Isaac did one recently. We did one for Isaac's company where we did, his wasn't through Zoom, so I won't use that one as an example. But for some of the things, I actually just did one yesterday. I'm trying to teach, right now I'm the only person on my marketing team that can build websites. And we're getting website requests like nobody's business. Like that's what everybody's wanting right now, because the world is shutting down for as much as everyone knows. So they at least want their website up so that if people are looking for them, they can find them. So we're getting so many website requests that I can't do all of them anymore. It's gotten to the point where I have to train my team to be able to actually build websites. So since I can't meet with them to show them one-on-one, I have been making videos through Zoom. I've been sharing my screen on Zoom and showing them, this is what you do first, this is how you do this part, and I'm sharing it with my team. Guess what, guys? I can also sell that to other people, right? I'm creating it for my team, but other people will pay for that, okay? So keep in mind that you have something that other people want and that they will pay for. So make that list. Phyllis asks, how do I determine what people will pay for a virtual consult? Phyllis, you start with a price you think they'll pay, put it out there, see how many people buy it, and see how many comments you get from it. The other thing is by asking, you guys. One of the easiest ways to find out is to do a poll. Straight up ask people, hey, I'm looking at offering this. What would you pay for it? Tell people what it includes. Ask people. Try to ask as many people as you can. Don't just ask one person and say, all right, that's the price I'm going with. Try to ask 50 to 100 people. And it's just market research, guys. You're just doing some market research here. All right, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to, actually before I go on to the next part, I want to ask if anyone has questions on using Zoom for these different types of meetings, or if anyone has comments for anything I've shared.
Well, I have a comment. I would have never thought of doing it as I didn't know you could do that as a training video. Like, I've used Zoom probably for the last, I don't know, 3 years. That's how a lot of my schooling was done. But I never thought about doing it. I never thought about that. So that's pretty cool. I
Good.
kind of like that because I had somebody tell me, you know, some of your cooking or some of your, what you've learned from your coaching, you need to be able to sell that. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I would have never even thought of that.
I agree. So I'm looking forward to seeing you come up with those products, Marie. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you come up with products that you can sell. Dwight raised his hand. Dwight, go ahead.
How do I open up the chat bar so I can type a comment without voicing it?
Oh, down at the bottom of your screen, there's a chat bubble on the right. It's kind of like there's 5 icons. It should be the 4th one.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Great question. All right, and I see that we have a whole bunch of more people joined in while I was going on and on there. Welcome to everybody who just joined. We are about to move into the second part of this training, which is free versus paid. You guys, with Zoom, most of what I just shared with you, you can do on the free version of Zoom. You don't need to pay anything for it. The only downfall that I find with the free version of Zoom is that it limits you to 40 minutes. So of course, if you're in the middle of having a great one-on-one with someone and you're you get cut off, number one, it could be embarrassing to be like, hey, just log back on. In fact, yesterday when I made the comment that, you know, if we get off, just log back on, I immediately went and just paid for this account to also be upgraded because I was like, I don't want to have to tell my people that. I don't want to have to tell them to log back on. I'm going to keep this on as long as they need it. Phyllis, question.
Yes, I love that 40-minute because if you're charging someone for a consult, like in my business, and they can ramble on and on for 2-3 hours. The problem I've had historically in going out to homes is come do my family room, and then they're giving me on a tour of all 70 bedrooms. And what do you think about this, this, and this? Which is how we came up with the How to Eat an Elephant package. But I like the idea of booking a 40-minute call and making it clear that have your questions, have your answers, and stay on task.
That's good. And now I do a thing where when I was meeting people face to face, I may have shared with most of you guys in this room that I did what I called a networking stack, where I would choose one day, I'd go sit at Jelly's Pancake House in Maryville. I'd have meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. Each meeting was scheduled to be 1 hour, and then I'd leave 15 minutes in between so that I can introduce my meeting one with my meeting two person, right? Also gave me a quick bathroom break moment because I was drinking lots of water and coffee. But so I made it very clear when I scheduled the meeting, we have 1 hour for our meeting, right? And I will be there at this time and I'll be sitting in this booth, you know, like that was a regular there. They treated me very well. But now when I'm doing Zoom, I let people know I have another meeting at 10:30, for instance. If I have a 10 o'clock call, I say I have another meeting at 10:30. So, and the great thing with Zoom, you guys, if the next person pops on at 10:30, because you're using the room. So the next person pops on at your 10:30, which lets the other person know, okay, my time's up. Her next person's here. You don't even have to be mean to be like, dude, I got to go. Because they realize your next appointment's there.
Or if you want to continue this, you got to pay again.
Exactly. That was my next point, that if they do go over their 30 minutes to an hour, okay, now they pay an hour instead of 30 minutes. And that's okay to do, but make sure you're letting people know up front, right?
Yeah.
Like I have you reserved for 30 minutes. What you paid is a 30-minute consult. It is okay if you go over, but if you go over, this is going to be the price, right? You let them know ahead of time, so there's no surprises. All right, and so the main thing with that is just making sure that if you don't want to have that time limit at 40 minutes, upgrade to Zoom, the next version of Zoom. There's a few versions, or a few, what am I looking for here? Packages. And so the next one is $15 a month or $150 for the year. I actually yesterday or today, whatever I did it, I don't remember. I think it might have been this morning when I upgraded. It was $120 because I like to find discount codes for everything I buy. Like I never buy anything full price, cheap, legal, whatever you want to call it. My husband likes it. So I paid $120 for Zoom for the year today. If you want a code, I will try to see if I can get a code again. Let me know if you're thinking of upgrading. Yeah, Angela, it's normally $150 a year, but I had a code that saved me $30. Okay, so my point here is that the free version will work most of the time for most of you for most of the things that you're trying to do. But if you want to upgrade to Zoom Premium or whatever the next version is, it's only $15 a month. Totally worth being able to keep yourself visible during the pandemic. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to give you guys some how-to on Zoom. Marie, I might be too wanting to upgrade. Okay, I'll see if I can find that code to send to you. In fact, if I find the code, you guys, I'll put it in our Facebook group. Okay, that way everybody has it. How do I know my worth? Do a poll or ask friends? Yes, Angela, you'll want to ask as many people as you can. Strive to ask 50 to 100 people, but don't ask it in the way of what is my worth. Tell them what you're planning to offer, and then ask them what would you pay for that. Right? So you take yourself out of the equation, because people are going to want to tell you what you want to hear if you make it personal. But if it's not personal, they'll be honest with you. So rather than me saying, I'm going to do this, you say, if somebody were to offer you 10 videos that were less than 5 minutes each that could help you grow your business, how much would you pay for that? Right? And then you find out what they pay for it, and then you put yourself into it. Based on your experience, your knowledge, your credentials, you might be able to charge a little more if you've got 10 or 15 years of experience. If you're just starting out, you probably want to stick to whatever you're getting on average that people would pay for, no matter who it is.
Okay.
Okay. And yes, I agree, especially as women, it is very hard to take emotions out of business. We have to, though. You really got to know when to take emotions out and keep emotions in. It's not always bad. You just got to know when you got to take them out. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys, because now I am going to do some how-to stuff. And so let me get rid of this. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. Let me come to my Zoom. Oh, right here, I'm in Zoom. Okay, so in order to create your free Zoom account, because I don't think you needed to create an account to be able to log into now. So in order to create a Zoom account, you're going to go to zoom.us, zoom.us. When you go there, you will click, well, I'm logged in, so mine says my account, but I think there's a button that says log in or sign up or something like that. So you'll look for the sign up button and you'll click that. So I'm going to go to my account, because once you get logged in, you'll be on your account. Here, I'm going to minimize that like that. And what I want to show you is how you would start a meeting and how to invite someone to a meeting. So now you're at your account, it comes up automatically to your profile. If you want to invite somebody to a meeting, this is the link you will use. Okay, you don't need the meeting ID, especially if you want them to be on video. If you want the person to be on video, you really want to give them this link here. So you just copy the link, or select the link and copy it. Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac, or you can right click and hit copy. And then you'll go to, let's see, Facebook, or you can do this in email. You can do this however you choose. But just for fun, let's see, I'm going to send a message to, oh, look here, Phyllis, right here. Phyllis, I'm going to send you this message because you're just right there for me.
Okay.
Why did it pop up?
Hmm?
Oh, there you go. I probably popped it up 5 times now. All right, Phyllis. Hi, Phyllis. I'd love to connect with you. Do you have time to meet me on Zoom tomorrow at 10 a.m.? Right? I like to always know my time before I send someone a message, because I don't like the going back and forth stuff, right? I have my time available, and I try to make it in enough advance that somebody can say yes without, like, I don't say like right now, can we talk right now? So tomorrow, and I send it, right? And then Phyllis responds back and she says something along the lines of, yes, I'd love to connect with you. And I say, great, here's my Zoom room link, or the link to my Zoom room, or however you want to do it. And then you paste it there by either hitting Control V, Command V if you're on a Mac, or right click and just hit paste, and then you send. Now, how simple is this, that all Phyllis has to do is click this link and it go just like you guys did. All you had to do is click the link and it brings you to our video.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like I had something in the chat, so let me check it real fast. This is only on the paid one that you can get a regular link. No, this is on the free version as well. So
is your link the same every time somebody meets with you?
it can be, yeah. So let me go back into Zoom.
How do you make sure that happens that way?
I'm going to show you right now. Great question.
Barbara, I thought if you don't have a paid one and you're inviting people or you're hosting a meeting, it changes each time.
Nope. Not if you're using your personal meeting room. Everybody has a personal meeting room, your personal ID. So the one that I sent you guys is the same one from yesterday when I had a free account. This is the same exact link. Now, over here on the left, there's a tab that says meetings. If you click on meetings, you can set it up to have different meetings, right? Like in my other Fuse Zoom account and the Fuse Business Training account, I have several meetings here. I have a book club meeting. I have a member meeting. I have all kinds of different meetings here. The staff meeting. There's so many different meetings here, and each of those do have a separate link. Okay, so when you set it up this way, you will have a separate link, but you don't have to set up a separate meeting for every single person. Just use your personal meeting room, which up here at the top, if you click personal meeting room, here's the same link that was over in my profile. And all I have to do, this button that says join now only says that because I'm on a call, but otherwise it would say start meeting. So when it's time for the meeting to start, all I do is I log, and you want to make sure that you log into your meeting through zoom.us. Don't just click the link that you sent to the person, because then you won't be a host, you'll just be a user. Hold on one second, please. No, I am hungry. Are you making food? Yeah. Is that the pulled pork? Yeah, I have that. Thanks. My wonderful husband is making me lunch. I love him so much. All right, so does that answer your question about the link, Marie?
Yeah, I think so. I'll just have to go on and look, because I have used it myself when I did my meetings, and I didn't know you could do it that way. So when my expert was zooming in, I had to wait and give her the number and then give her, I didn't realize it could be the same every time.
That is so much work. Don't do it that way anymore.
Well,
do it the easy way. Work smarter, not harder. So yeah, let me know, Marie, if you have trouble, because I'd be happy to jump on and help you, okay? The other thing is, see this next tab where it says webinars? If you click on webinars, you'll notice that it will give you this little thing about being able to do a webinar or not being able to, or whatever. Here's the thing, you don't have to use it will ask you to upgrade or whatever. You don't have to do that, you guys. Do your webinars just right through the meeting. You could even use your same personal meeting room for the webinar. I mean, it's super simple, you guys. You could do all the same functions in the meeting as you can in the webinar. You could do polls, you could ask people to raise their hands, you could do all of that in the Zoom meeting itself. Okay, the next thing that I want to pull your attention to is your settings. I'm going to minimize this for a minute. Okay. So I'm not going to go through all these settings because it will just take way too long, but there are a few that I want to bring to your attention. So this one, start meetings with participant video on. Mine is checked to do that. Some of you will notice that you come on with your video off. That's because you have it set in your personal settings to do so. Same thing for mine. I have my video start automatically when it's on. I have the option to do telephone or computer audio. I also have the option that allows you guys to be on here without me. So you guys could technically, in all honesty, use my Zoom room. Please don't, but this allows you to be able to do that, to actually have a call with somebody even if I'm not on. And then another one I want to bring your attention to is the chat. You can allow people to be able to chat, which I recommend you to do so. You can turn this on or off with prevent participants from saving chat. I don't have that off for any particular reason. Like, I'm okay with you guys saving chat, especially if somebody puts a link in there. Private chat. A lot of times people like to keep the private chat off so that there's not any like clicky stuff going on or whatever. I personally have it off because you guys should be chatting outside of Zoom anyway. Connect through the Facebook group. If you want to talk outside of it, I encourage that. I don't auto-save chats mostly. I probably should. I probably should. No, I don't need to auto-save chats. But so then I want to pull you down here. Polling, so we can add polls to it that allows the host to survey attendees. I have it off. I don't need the poll right now, but I could turn it on. Same thing with co-host. I could add a co-host if I want, which means that I could ask Marie to co-host, and then I disappear if I wanted to, or anybody. You guys can get rid of people if they're not, if they're doing something that you don't want them to do. Phyllis is laughing. I feel like she may have to remove.
I feel like I'm going to detention anytime now.
Yeah, I'm about to remove you. I'm just playing. I would never do that. I shouldn't say never. Who knows what could ever happen. Okay, and then you can allow participants to share their screen, which I always keep on because, excuse me, in the way that I train people, a lot of times I have to ask them, okay, share your screen with me. Let me see what it is that you're seeing. And then I'm able to say, okay, take your cursor over to the top. And it's easier to direct people when you can see what they're looking at. Because sometimes, even if you give them the best directions, they could still end up on a screen that's like, how the heck did you get there? Right? Or I don't even know what you're talking about. Let's see, I have another question here. Do you set the meeting to record before you start the meeting? Yes, Tim, thank you for asking. That's actually coming up in the next part of this settings part that I want to show you. I have mine automatically set up to record. I always let people know right up front too, especially if it's a one-on-one. I let people know that it's recording. You can visibly see that the other person's recording, but it is still just good, I think, ethical to just say, hey, just so you know, I'm recording this. A lot of times I let people know I'm recording it because I take notes at the end. I don't want to take notes while we're talking. I like to be able to go back and be like, oh, because when you get to know me, you guys know that I pay a lot of attention. You'll tell me your favorite color is blue, and then you'll notice I'm sending you things that are blue. And you're like, how does Barbara remember I love blue so much? Because it's because I put it in my CRM. I wrote it down. Somebody recently asked in the group what a CRM is. I'm super excited because we'll talk about that when we talk about email marketing in a couple days. And then Dwight said, so chats are only available to the group during the conference. Yes, during while you're on Zoom. Let's see. Okay, and then the whiteboard. Can you Zoom on Facebook or share it? So yes, yes and no. So on Facebook, you can go live with a Zoom, but you need a third-party program, which I used to use BeLive, BeLive.com. I don't know what the current price of it is right now, but you can do that through that program. It's probably about $20 or $30 a month if I had to guess. But can you record on Zoom and then post it on Facebook? It depends how small the video is. Yesterday, we had about a 40-minute video that was too large for me to post on Zoom. So if it's 30 minutes, maybe, I don't know. If it's 10 or 15 minutes, I would think so. If it's close to 40 or over, probably not. So if you're planning to post something on Facebook, I would put it on YouTube first, record it on Zoom, put it on YouTube, and then share the YouTube link on Facebook. All right, and then the next thing that I wanted to share with you, you guys can go through all of these yourselves if you want. Oh, this one, the breakout room. This is one that we use in our mastermind group. When we do, in fact, we're doing a networking meeting next week for our mastermind group, and we will be able to have the option of having breakout rooms. When we're having people, because we're gonna do virtual networking. So if we've got people talking, like today, Phyllis, you and Marie were in conversation when we were about to start. I could have actually broke you two into your own private room to talk while the rest of us went on, and then you guys could have just re-entered our room when you were ready. That's what's really cool about a breakout room.
Marie, we've been sent to our room. I was just going to suggest, though, I told Marie earlier, call me later to discuss something different. Maybe we should try a Zoom meeting just to practice on each other.
So that's actually your homework,
Yeah.
Phyllis.
Oh,
And,
okay.
We can do that.
yeah.
Okay, good enough.
Hold on one moment, please. What's going on? Oh, actually, don't tape it yet because we're gonna be on the highway. It will wipe off. So we're gonna tell her we're gonna tape it when we get over there. Thank you. I'm sorry. My niece is today's her birthday, and because she can't have a birthday party, they're doing a birthday parade where all of us are taking our cars and driving past her house and decorating our cars and screaming happy birthday. That way nobody's near each other. Everyone stays in their cars and stuff. And the kids have been decorating all morning to put stuff on the car. And I'm glad that she came and asked, because if they put it on the car now, the wind would have blown it off before we got there. But okay, so I wanted to go to, yes, that was a good idea, Haley. I want to show you guys, actually, Phyllis was just talking about having practice Zoom meetings, which I want to show you guys. This should have posted. Yep, look at this, 29 minutes ago. I have that scheduled to post. It is asking you guys to test Zoom with somebody. So your homework is to set up a Zoom account if you don't already have one, schedule a test meeting, and post it here if you would like to meet with others on Zoom. So if you're like, hey, I'm open to Zooming, right? Like, I want to Zoom with you. Post that right in the comments. Say, guys, I want to Zoom. Tell me who wants to Zoom. Schedule meetings with each other. Get to know each other. Free advertising, guys. Free exposure. Perfect. So all right, perfect. And then I just want to show you one more thing, which is what Tim was asking about, which is if we scroll all the way to the top, up at the top, recording, and we come down, I have mine, so allow hosts and participants to record, I have it on, and then I have it set to cloud recording and automatic recording. So mine records automatically on my local computer, because that's one of the other things with the free Zoom, you guys, is that you don't get much space. So if you were recording it to the cloud, it would be recording it here in Zoom. You might get 1 or 2 recordings before it says you're out of space. So I record it to my local computer, and then I transfer it to YouTube, and then I could delete it off my computer. Easy enough. Okay. You could require a password if you want somebody to have a password. That was for the recording, but that's also in the meeting section. You can require people to have a password for coming on your meeting. That way, if you don't want people, just random people. I've heard a news article recently about, now that everybody's using Zoom, there are hackers actually hacking into people's Zoom rooms and doing very inappropriate things on people's Zoom calls. So you could actually require people to have passwords so that random people don't just show up on your call, because it's very easy to find a Zoom link. And then the other thing I want to mention is email notification. I like when I get an email when an attendee joins before me. In fact, is Dave still on? Let me see, I don't have mine. Let me stop share for a moment. Dave's still here. So Dave logged on at like 7 a.m. the first morning. And of course I didn't see it at 7 a.m. because I wasn't looking. But then I thought, oh crap, I didn't tell Dave that we switched it to 2 p.m. Right? But if one of you guys were to log on at like 1:20 instead of, I jumped on at 1:30. But if one of you got on at 1:20, I'd have gotten an email that says, Phyllis is in your room waiting for you. You guys can have that off or on. I prefer it to be on, right? Because I just want to know if somebody's waiting for me, especially if I may have forgotten that I scheduled with somebody. All right, so that's some of your how-to stuff, you guys. That's the basic how-to. If you guys want to be able to do some of the more advanced stuff, I could do another Zoom training on more advanced stuff, because I know we're like already at 45 minutes here, and I want to open it up to some questions. Anybody have questions, comments?
No, I just want to say that was really good, because like I said, I've been using Zoom, and you learn something new every day. I didn't know all of that, like to be able to use the same, link and how to be able to go in the backgrounds and set all that. So I'm going to work on that and see, and then use the same one, because I am using Zoom a lot more and starting to use it to be able to, meet with potential, clients that way as well. So that's cool.
Good, Marie, thank you for sharing that. And I want to say too, real fast, before I ask for more questions, 2 things that I just remembered. Your background. When you're doing Zoom meetings with people, especially if you're doing Zoom trainings, the meetings themselves don't matter as much, but if you're doing a training, you want to make sure that you have solid background behind you, or something that you're okay with, like a bookshelf or whatever, right? Dave, your view is probably perfectly fine because it promotes what you're doing. You guys, this is just a sheet. This is a bed sheet. Now, of course, behind it, I did my green screen yesterday, and because I have such fair skin today, or just in general because it's winter, when summer comes I won't be so fair skinned. But when I did my green screen yesterday and people said that I was too bright on the bright green screen, so I put blue up instead. Another thing for lighting on your videos, you guys will notice your light source should be in front of your face, not behind your head, because otherwise you get a darkness. Actually, Dwight, I'm going to use you as an example. So see how Dwight has his light behind his head. We can only see parts of him and mostly shadows. Dwight, don't you usually have facial hair?
Yeah, I shaved my beard. When I went to California for work, it just it was hot and
Okay, fair
new.
enough. You look different, but that's okay. You still look great.
I did
Okay.
turn off the bright lights behind me though before we started the meeting.
Okay, so here's the thing, you guys. I want to show you something with the light. My light is actually to my right. So I have a chandelier that's right to my right. So you may notice that this side of my face is much brighter than this side. It would ideally be if I was like this, looking at the light, right? And my lights are super bright, you guys. I buy the brightest lights possible. Everyone in my family hates it. But most lights won't be like mine is definitely bright and bringing out my very fair complexion. But you want to make sure that your light is in front of you. And it doesn't have to be directly in front of you. Like I said, mine's off to the right, but it needs to be in front of your head, not behind your head. Okay, let's see. I'm scared to mess up on Zoom, but it's time. I've always been invited, never the invitee. All right, so Angela, your homework is to schedule Zoom meetings with people in this group, test it out, practice it. Everyone has to do at least one Zoom meeting before our call tomorrow. Now, I am going to give away a prize for whoever does the most Zoom meetings.
All right, let's do this
now until 2 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so. And try to reach out to every single person in this group and schedule a Zoom meeting in the next 24 hours. Now, of course, people are working at home. They may or may not have time. They might already have their schedule booked, but try to at least connect with each other. Dwight, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Anybody else have a question?
Yeah, who wants to Zoom besides Marie? We're already doing this.
Good. Well, there's a post we just put up. So if you're willing to Zoom, put your information on there. Or, it would be better if, you maybe shouldn't put your Zoom link, but maybe just let people know on that post, hey, I'm willing to Zoom. And then you guys could either schedule right on that post or private message each other. It doesn't matter. Okay. But not right now. And you guys, just so you know, I am very willing to Zoom. So if anybody really needs a practice person, reach out to me.
I did think of a question.
Okay, go ahead, Dwight.
Does it matter if we're going on to our Zoom or somebody else's Zoom? Because I just started mine before we had this conference, and I tried calling myself from an old email to see if I could do it from an old cell phone, and I was not able to connect the video to try to practice myself. So does it matter if somebody else's or mine?
Great question. So for the contest, it doesn't matter. It's just a number of how many you've done. But I want you to make sure that you at least get one on your own so that you know you could do it. And if you really, I know there's some people who are like, I don't want to practice with just anyone. You guys practice with me. If you really need practice, let me know. I will schedule a time to Zoom. I will get on your Zoom room and I will tell you everything that you are, doing incorrectly.
I'm going to throw an offer out there. I'm really trying to launch this Zoom design consultations. Any of you that are on here now, I'll waive the fee if you let me practice on you. Anybody wants a Zoom call for the design consult, pick a room that you want help with.
I highly encourage that. Phyllis, thank you for sharing. Phyllis normally charges around $500 for these consults, and she's now charging $200 for the virtuals. We're about to put that on her website here this week. So if she's offering that for free, take her up on it, you guys. And reach out to her separately. Don't respond right now. Everybody reach out separately, please, because we are going to end the call. And then somebody says, Angela, I'm in after the baby is, something just popped up right.
I'm just going to jot down who's on it so I know who's entitled to the free one.
All right. Yep. Dwight, Marie, Angela, Jeannie, Tim, Debbie. Debbie, I saw you came on video a little bit. I appreciate that you did that. Thank you. Michelle and Phyllis. Michelle may also be next to her husband who might be recording as well. So that's why she may not have.
Jeannie, Tim, got
Tim,
Marie, Michelle.
Tim, did you need help getting on your video? If you can hear me, can you put a chat if you know how to make video work? Because I think your video didn't work last night either, right?
Who's the lower left iPhone?
That's Debbie George.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a problem with my computer, and so I was going to switch to my phone, but I really like seeing you on the laptop.
Oh, okay, no worries. Well, Tim, why don't you and I schedule a time that maybe I could watch your screen and see if I can help you figure it out, okay?
That'd be great. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. I'll reach out to you after this and we'll schedule something.
Perfect.
All right, any last questions before I hang up on everyone? That's it? All right, thank you guys all for being here. Thanks for participating in the engagement. If you know anybody who should be part of this group, please invite them. I truly want to be able to help people as much as I can. And you guys, if you know people that you want to help, this is a good way to help them. So invite people to the group. It is still a private group, but they don't necessarily have to register on Eventbrite anymore. I am sharing these videos on social media now, but what you guys get as part of being in the private group is you get this, you get the homework assignments, obviously, and the accountability for it, and you get the community with each other. So if you know anyone who should be in that community, please invite them. All right, have a great day.
Thanks, Barbara.
Bye.